Good afternoon and thanks for joining us right here on Midday, Kentucky, everyone. And I looked out the window about an hour ago and it's snowing.
Yes.
No, I'm just glad that we made
very
it through
wet
the
snow.
commute with just rain, not ice.
Exactly.
So
That's
that's
I got
something to
you.
be happy about.
It's a little cold out, but not too bad.
I know. I took your advice yesterday for Girls on the Run.
Oh, you did?
So
You
it was
made
very
them run?
chilly for our first practice, and I said, Troy says we have to run fast and we'll be warm.
And did they run?
Yeah, but they run faster than me, so I was just trying to catch up. It was fun.
We know.
Yeah. That's why I keep them on the circle track, you know?
Well, they say also running is good for you in losing weight. On Instagram, if you've noticed as of late, there's more and more ads coming up on Instagram on your feed. And, you know, they're like little sponsored content of, you know, they show this fat person running and over 10 weeks you get thinner and thinner.
Right.
And I always click on it. Do you know what I mean? To see what happens.
I love seeing all those before and
I do
afters,
too.
though.
I do
And
too.
it's like, oh, I wonder how they did that.
Well,
and I'm
no,
like,
I
I
just-
know exactly how to do that. I'm just like not willing, or I don't have the motivation.
Look, and you know, I hoofed into some tofu again last night, and the whole time I'm sitting there thinking to myself, if you remember, and you watched this show last week, David Goldman said that if you eat too much, tofu has estrogen in it,
Right.
And the whole time I
The
was,
soy has estrogen, is what David said.
yes,
Yeah.
but
Right.
that's tofu, isn't it?
And tofu
It's
is made out
from
of
soy.
soy.
It's made out of soy.
Yeah.
He was saying anything was soy.
Oh right, okay, right. Now I'm so confused.
Oh, I just meant so people know at home they meant
Oh, right,
all soy
okay.
products.
No, I've forgotten what I was saying.
Well,
You were
he
saying
said
while
that-
you were eating it, you were thinking of
Oh,
David.
and I was sitting there eating and I'm thinking to myself, now will this make me pluck an eyebrow or two? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just being stupid. Hey everyone, you know I went away a few weeks ago to Snowshoe Mountain Resort up there in West Virginia. So we're giving away a weekend out at the resort, of course, and the winners will receive 3-day lift tickets, 2 nights lodging, 3-day ski and snowboarding lessons, and a backcountry hut dinner. I'm telling you, I'm really sorry I didn't do the hut dinner. I didn't know about that when I was there.
This
Hey,
is an awesome package.
it's
Yeah,
an
that's
awesome
amazing.
package. It's worth over $2,000, everyone. And the drawing will happen on February 23. To enter, just head over to WTVQ.com/contest. It's fantastic, everyone. You'll love it up there. And as I said yesterday, as of the last week, they had like 30 inches of snow.
And it's also such an easy drive from here. It's easy to go for a long weekend.
Yeah, it
right?
was easy, but I still crashed my car. Sorry.
Well, we all know.
Don't worry, I thought about that the other day when I was driving to work. I went around this little corner and I had a little slip.
Yeah.
And my heart just started to race again thinking about
that moment.
the snowshoe. But I am going to go down to snowshoe again at the end of March sometime.
Well, just be careful next
Yeah,
time.
it probably
please.
won't be as cold. Hey, you know, we always talk about women and how they feel insecure about their bodies and all the conversation that goes along with that. Well, guess what? A whopping 80% of men feel insecure about their bodies. 7 in 10 men said that they feel self-conscious and that they refuse to let their partners actually see them naked. Whether it's being too fat, too short, or just a receding hairline, the survey tells it all.
Interesting.
What do you think? What's Doug insecure about?
You know, I mean,
Let's just jump in there, everyone.
well, we both. I mean, you know,
No,
there's many
for once
things.
this isn't about you. What does Doug feel insecure about? You've gone bright red,
Well, you
so
know,
he has insecurities.
Of course he does. Everybody has
Yeah, I think anyone
insecurities.
who's human
And,
does.
You know, yes, you do.
I do.
But you know what? I mean, the great thing about being married and growing older together, is that the changes you become, you know, I mean, it's all a part of that relationship and about that journey that you're taking through life. It really is. And you kind of have each other to cry on, the shoulder to cry on, you know, when you're, you know, facing life's cruel facts, you know. So I think that we all have
We're
insecurities.
still wanting the dirt. What does man friend one feel insecure about?
I don't know. He's pretty confident in himself.
Is he?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, after what I
think
saw
I'm
in
definitely
Wolf-
more insecure than he is. He's just who he is. Yeah.
I think you and I are a little insecure. I'll be honest.
No,
I'll
I have
speak on
insecurities.
our behalf as well, because you know we both eat way too much than what we should, and we often talk about body and you know making sure we're sitting right for the right angle. The thing is I think men. This survey was really interesting because it was one of the first times that I've read that. You know, I've always said men talk. They just don't tell you to. men talk with men.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And as I said back in Australia, a lot of my buddies, we used to sit around and they would talk about things about their life. And we're talking about heterosexual men here and pretty
Yeah.
tough guys.
Yeah.
And I would often ask them, I said, oh, did you tell, well, let's just say you, Lisa.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'd never tell her. You know, it was
Yeah.
really interesting. So, 38% of respondents said that they carry too much weight and they actually feel insecure about that. The other 33%, my hairline is receding. That's an issue for men, which is actually true. I've a lot, me being in the hair industry, that happened like so many times. 27% of men think they're too short. That, put on an Yves Saint Laurent boot doll, that'll give you 2 inches. Do you know what I mean? And the next one is 16% feel that they unattractive facial features.
Body hair?
Oh, body hair. Well, I just skipped over that because that can be fixed with a razor.
Yeah, that's kind of, if you don't like it, just do what you
Yeah.
want. Just
Previous
wax it.
man
Wax
friend.
it. Okay.
Previous man minus one friend. He had a back razor. Remember?
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, looking at the list, a lot of those were correctable.
Well,
too.
I think so, but
know?
not from shortness.
Right, exactly. That was the
And,
only one that really you can't
yeah,
change. Or maybe the unattractive facial features.
Well, there's
there
plastic
might be-
surgery.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
There is.
And I thought it was really great that the survey came out and,
Yeah.
it's a conversation. Tell us what you think, whether you feel that your husband has some insecurities or, with some guys sitting at home. Well, I know we have lots of male viewers. Tell us what you think. Head over to our Midday Kentucky Facebook page and, tell us what you think
I
about
actually
the
didn't
article.
think those percentages were that high. 20s to 30% of those. I would imagine a lot of those for women. Just thinking off my own friends, I would think it's at least double, 3 times those percentages. I'm surprised that you brought that up. That
Well,
it's
there were
that
over
high,
2,000 people.
but I would think that the percentages are much higher for
women. Yeah.
I got you.
Unfortunately,
Yeah, I
but it's
know.
interesting that guys suffer from that too.
Yeah. Okay, so here are some old wives' tales, people. There are many old wives' tales passed down through the generations that plenty of people swear cure them of their ailments. But just how scientifically accurate is the hair of the dog for a hangover or urinating on a jellyfish sting to ease the pain? Do you know what jellyfish is?
I do.
Oh, wait,
I
do you know
do,
what
and I
they-
have heard
Wait,
of
are they
that.
wives' tales or
Old
wise tales?
Old wives.
I
W-I-V-E-S.
didn't know that that's what the saying
Oh, you didn't know
was.
what that meant?
I thought
Old
the saying
wise
was old
tales?
wise tales.
No, so it's an old wives'
You
tale.
learn something new every day.
Yeah. I remember my grandmother said to me, I had a little wart on my foot, and she said to me, son, go out the back and pee on it. I was like, Nonna. I peed on it, and a couple of days later, it was gone.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was gone.
Okay, so my brother had a wart on his knee, and my mother cut a potato in half,
I've heard that.
rubbed it on the wart, and
Yeah.
buried it under a full moon. I swear it to you, and the wart went away.
I didn't hear that.
Yes,
end
you
of
had to
part of
bury.
it.
She said, I don't know where she gets these things. But
Okay, let's bring up the list that we have
Okay.
here. Onion in a sock. Now, they believe it cures a cold. I have never heard that one, guys.
onion in a
I
sock.
haven't heard it.
Just 8% of the people surveyed by Pharmacy Outlet have tried this, and with 51% of those believing it actually works.
Number one, how do you even walk with an onion on your
Well,
foot?
no, I
think
think
you
you.
sleep with
I think
it.
you actually sleep with it. I think. Well, here's another thing.
That's attractive to
Well,
smell.
my grandmother had a plantar swart. You know what
Yeah.
a plantar under her
Yeah.
foot, and I remember because she came to visit me in the city, and she was there for like maybe a week with me, and I took her to the esthetician to have a pedicure. And she took her shoe off and she had a banana skin stuck underneath her foot. I said, Nonna, what are you doing with a banana skin? She said, well, look, son, a plantar swart has gone. She had taped a banana peel around her foot. It was
Oh
gone.
my gosh.
I know, but it'd been on obviously a week.
Oh,
Okay, gargling with salt water, and that supposedly
Yes.
cures a sore throat. I actually have heard of that one as well.
So have I.
Yeah, that's a good one. Let's bring up turmeric powder. Well, I haven't heard of this one for baldness. This is really quite stupid.
I have never heard of that.
41% of people that said they've tried it said it actually works.
They just take the powder and.
Honey, I'm not the scientist.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? But all I'm saying to you is it supposedly works.
Huh.
Okay. Do you know of any? Do you have any that your
And it-
mother or father gave to you?
No, I think this other one that I saw here, the hot bath to cure a cold.
Yeah, that
I've heard
works.
but that does work. I would say, yes, it may be myth or whatever that actually cures the cold, but I do think it cures some of the symptoms that
No,
you're feeling.
you are right, but
by
I also,
taking the hot bath.
I actually do believe it does cure a cold because when you're starting to feel achy and you're cold, that's when you're getting the cold. If you have a hot bath with Epsom salts, it actually sweats everything out and purifies the body. It has always worked for me, apart from last time when I had the flu for a few days because I didn't have a hot bath.
I just enjoy having a hot bath when I'm sick like that. I just need it.
And I've never peed on myself when I've had a jellyfish sting. I've done most things, everyone, but I haven't done that before. And I hadn't heard of that one. Actually, you know what? I think I might have heard that.
I have heard that.
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah,
I just,
totally.
it'd be tough for a woman to do
Okay,
that.
I want to ask you this, everyone. Do you have to love your child at first sight? All right.
All right.
And I don't think my mother
It's
did.
a good idea to do so.
I think I popped out and she grabbed the bottle. Do you know what I mean? Like,
So this is an article I found online this morning. A blogger was talking about, she said, I did not love my child at first sight.
Yeah.
So of course that's clickbait to click on it. And then of course she's saying she felt strong affection for the child. She cared for the child immediately, but she said she didn't feel that she loved her son from the moment of birth. And she started describing the experience of birth. She had a complicated C-section and some other things happening. She said it was very quick after that. In the next week, 2 weeks, she said she just fell in love with him and loves him dearly. But I was just wondering, Lisa, did you feel that you loved your kids at first sight, or just when you first kick? I don't know. What do you think?
It was interesting because to hear you say this in the pre-meeting, I was like, wow, you know, I can't imagine, you know.
Yeah.
But then when I really thought back to it, Katie, it is. I mean, giving birth to a child. I mean, seriously, it's like an alien all of a sudden appears, you know? I mean, seriously, you're like, how did my body do this and how did this happen? So, you know, at first it is kind of freaky. It's just overwhelming. It's overwhelming in many areas. So I can kind of understand what she was feeling at that moment and in that first week when she got home. But, you know, the love is definitely there, at least for me it was, because you're also, that child was in you even before it was born, so you're still talking to it. You know what I mean? You're talking to your child, even though it's in your body, you're talking to it, and Doug would talk to it. We'd play music to the boys and everything, and that's what we did, and to help him bond with us when he was born, but also for us to bond with him. So, you know, that's kind of how I felt when the baby came out. It was like, we already knew, we already loved him. But I can see how it would feel like that because it is overwhelming. And you know, I had a C-section too, and it was complicated on my first one. And I would definitely say that there are conflicting feelings after you have a child as a woman.
but I think it's just animalistic. Is that the right word? Because
What do you mean?
well, we had animals on the farm that would just walk away from their new calf or foal or puppy, and I think it's in all aspects of life. You know, there's no hard or straight rule that says that you have to love your child.
It's like,
Do you know what I mean? Or puppy dog, or do you know what I'm saying?
You're right. What's overwhelming, I think, is the fact that you have to care for this new alien that has joined your life. I mean, it's completely relying on you for its survival. And so that is the part where you're bonding with that child immediately. That's the bigger focus, I think, actually, than the feelings of love. That comes with it. But I can understand if women don't feel that true connection right out of the gate.
Did you feel like it that grew exponentially as she was describing in just the first week or two of after birth?
Absolutely, it does. And some women suffer from postpartum depression too, and so that's also another conflicting. There are a lot of hormones going on in the woman's body, and there's a lot going on.
Well, I think it's good to get that conversation going, like she was talking about, because she said what she struggled with, and some of her other friends, was just the glorifying the experience of, I was just in love at first sight.
Yeah.
And she said she was struggling with those emotions, even though she cared so much for the child, she couldn't talk about it, even though she loves the child now.
Right.
So interesting to hear your perspective.
Tell us what you think. Head over to our Midday Kentucky Facebook page. The article is up on that page there. Tell us, how you felt when your kids were born as well. Hey, after the break, everyone, we sit down with Dr. James Stillwell to discuss the challenges of Valentine's Day.